Okay, everybody, welcome back to Celeste Community Challenge. We've got event number 3 for 2025. Haven't had one of these for a few weeks now. Had a bit of a rest break. So Smiga's actually come back from a bit of a hiatus, hasn't played for a couple of months. Here today on Egyptians in the yellow trunks at the top side of the map. He's gone double storehouse. Hasn't yet taken hunting dogs. I've seen FFNEZ just actually finished hunting dogs, got it ASAP. Double storehouse from him as well, so he's on Greeks in the red trunks. So we've got a battle of the Americas here, with an American and a Peruvian player. How Spawn's looking. Oh yeah, Smiga's got a rear hunt. FF's got a couple of hunts. I think that might be one as well, but he scouted out this others. I don't know, has he got another hunt? It's hard to know. I don't know if he's checked here or here. And they look like hunt spawns. Just judging by those straggler trees, most hunts actually have a couple of straggler trees. Spawns aren't too bad. Looks like Smiga's going for a stone storehouse already. FF already has his on the way as well. Smiga's age up really quick. FF's is just as quick actually. And FF's managed to squeeze in hunting dogs here. Villages each. 2 population difference because oh yeah, the priestess and Smiga can keep training bills. He's about to get another priestess. Goes to the Temple of Ra. He's definitely got the population space to fit it. He almost didn't need this house. He will need it eventually to get the town center though, I believe. Just because Egypt and Babylon, you're still training villages while you age up. Smart to try and chip away at those, because then if he goes for the hunt or puts a second TC here or whatever, he'll be able to get those pretty easily. FF for the moment. Well, it's a very passive start to the game so far. But this is pretty normal, this is pretty standard. Unless you're going to go spear rush. So open like this and then really get into it. So FF, the stone he needs, very close to the wood he needs. Smiga, a little bit off, but not very far. Just waiting for just a little bit more stone. There we go. He's going for his town center as well. It's a good spot to put it actually. He's going to have to just... Oh, he's got this hunt over here. I was just thinking, Smiga's going to have to work to get out on the map to control a bit of resources. FF eventually will as well, but I mean, this here shouldn't be too difficult to get on top of. He does have that rear gold as well. Smiga's got that gold over there, but then there's a bit of a gap before you get to more resources. He might even look at putting his third TC over here somewhere, just because it secures so much. But in saying that, Egypt, you've got to be a bit careful. It's not uncommon to have 3 very tightly clustered town centers. Just to sort of secure yourself early on. Go for a big age 3, age 4. So early barracks, well not early barracks, but barracks and barracks. Very standard, safe ways of opening here. No one's opening with camels or saris to start with here. To get straight into raiding. It's a more utility, defense opening. Because I mean the barracks can get the spearmen to counter the cavalry, you can get your axemen to counter the spearmen. Egyptian players even get access to those slingers. Obviously they're not super useful until the Greek player actually gets some toxotes or some other form of range. So the range of FF getting scouted there by Smiga. Stables of Smiga getting scouted by FF. I do wonder if we're going to see these players sit in age 2 for long. I mean, I know the Greek side of this matchup tends to enjoy a big age 2 against pretty much every civ. Persia might be the one civ it's a bit of a struggle for them, funnily enough, they're one of the better civs to have a big age 2 against Norse, I find. Egyptian, on the other hand, usually just about everyone you play against you want to be trying to go to age 3 quicker. Because if you can, your stables are super powerful, because camels basically counter everything except spearmen, and chariots are just a really good ranged unit. Really good damage against everything. So as long as they can be protected, they basically counter everything too. A Greek player, even if he goes age 3, he's mainly doing it to get champion upgrades on said age 2 units, and then gain access to Prodromos. Like, I think Prodromos is really the only age 3 unit for Greeks that sort of stands out, and it's not because there's some super beefy cavalry, they're not. They and camels are both a fairly light cavalry unit. It's a bit of a extra damage for FF, which is not great. I mean, if he had have just target fired then first to start with, he probably would have taken slightly less damage. Not a huge deal though. Both our players going for little raids here. Mixed bag of units at this point. Smiga got a little bit of everything here. Axemen, slingers, camels. And this is rough for FF because he's over here trying to go and engage, but he doesn't lose any villages yet, so he gets out of there. 35 vills to 37. And FF, he's taking out a storehouse. This isn't great, but what it does is at least it frees up. Like, Smiga can't actually see this army now, it's going to be outside of vision. So now it gets a bit dangerous. Like, you know, stopping to attack a storehouse like that doesn't give you a huge amount of value, except when you're trying to, you know, dive under a town center or something. So Smiga is going to go for a similar sort of trawl around his opponent's base here, try and get a bit of value. FF forcing Smiga to garrison, but there's not a huge number of villages here. Although he did get the priestess, so that's good for FF. Smiga cleaning up some storehouses again. Not getting many huge value, but it does mean FF's really wary about jumping onto this hunt next. Which means he's really got to start extending outside his base, or getting on the berries, which is going to incur a bit of upgrades, costs. Smiga able to clean that up. The mixed comp. Handy at this stage because it really cuts FF from just going for like 3 archery ranges at this point. Gotta keep it at maybe 2 and still get, you know, 3 barracks rather than maybe just relying on only 1 or 2. Because I mean, Hypaspis and Spears are great units for the Greeks, while, you know, Axemen are good, but they need champion to really shine in big fights. Camels are good to tanking the hyper damage, but like ultimately that Greek H2 melee is probably a better direct army. It's just that you know, you get the mobility of camels for the Egyptian player, and then once you get H3, you know, camels actually start to counter range as well. But what this does mean is that, yeah, FF's not necessarily getting as much tox as he potentially could, and he can't just force Smiga into making slingers or just dying. So FF's actually going for the quicker age 3 here by the looks of things. Smiga's not getting it yet, he's going for armory. FF's already taken an armory just so he can get barbed arrows. He's got a lot of toxotes, but again, got plenty of melee here too, so sort of being caught with 50-50, it makes it hard to just go, oh yeah, this upgrade is so much better. Because Temper could be a good choice for him right now, or actually, Scale Mail could even be a good choice for FF as for the next upgrade. Because there's a lot of melee in this comp, like there's not a huge number of slingers. Smiga's done a good job here. Do not get too many slingers. You might want to go up to about 12 at the most, maybe. Or even then, you know, just add a lot more camels, leave a bit of pop space to get chariots as soon as you go to age 3 potentially. You know, it's a bit of an if obviously, because if you get pushed and you're on 130 pop and your opponent's on 160, you're screwed. But Smiga's got a lot of villagers on that Temple of Set. He wants to get age 3 quickly here, he knows. FF's is faster, so the third TC will probably be faster. And that access to even more population limit, which is really the big thing about it. That and champion upgrades. So yeah, Hypaspis champion, a big health boost. Toxotes champ when FF eventually gets it will be nice as well. Little raid going on here, and there's a couple of spearmen on defense actually. So FF's actually able to save his villagers, take out a couple of camels, lose a few spearmen. Even though the numbers really favour Smiga, because they're fighting their hard counter, it's not really a big loss for FF. He killed 2 or 3 camels there, lost 5 or 6 spearmen. Really, it's sort of worth because he protected all his villagers. So what, 60 to 63. Smiga's macroing really well here. He's got a 25 pop advantage. He's got his age 3, so the chariot's now kicking in. Axe champion on the way. Temper's going to finish up just before it, so it's really ideal for Smiga. Slingers will be a bit of a dead weight eventually here, because it'll just get a bit hard to try and control them, and 2 types of melee and your chariots. But yeah, he hasn't over-invested in them, and they're still, you know, if you can shift-click them onto the tox, like, that's really big value. FF, on the other hand, might have to look at getting either stables and making mixed cavalry, which can be a bad idea because there's a lot of chariot camels, so he might even just want to go for a few Prodromos as well. But he's going to need some form of anti-ranged eventually. Smiga will just get more and more chariots as this age 3 combat goes on. Camel champ on the way, barbed arrows on the way. FF getting ranged armor now. It wasn't really important to him yet, but now it will be. Or at least once Smiga starts replacing some more of this army and getting even more chariots. Because he's only on 2 at the moment, so, or 3 at the moment. 40 axemen, that's a lot of potential splash damage there too. So again, some more eco techs. So gold and stone gather rate. FF's already actually got chisel, but he doesn't have place in mining. FF's already going to start on farming techs too. At this stage, Smiga seems to be confident he doesn't have to. I like this, very forward, helps protect a lot of resources. This is a good engagement from Smiga too there, killing a couple of infantry, not really losing anything. FF a bit hesitant to take any fights. At the moment he's wanting his age 3 upgrades to finish off too. He's getting Tox Champ now, he's just finished that. Temper's on the way, he's getting Prodromos, which will be handy. Because it'll mean he can put map pressure on Smiga now. And one of the big things about any of the Egyptian H2 or H3s is that H2, they've generally got the ability to raid you quite easily. It might be really dangerous for you to do it to them because they just need to get camels and they counter what you've got. But then eventually you start to feel something pretty even, and then it means you can start pressuring the Egyptian player, holding up their age 4, you know, preventing them from getting on resources. Smiga's going to be age 4 soon though. He's not far off. He needs a little bit of wood. Too much gold, if anything. FF also perhaps a little bit early on all that gold. Because, I mean, if they can get the other resources first, they can get age 4 in the queue, then gather the gold. But right now, they're trying to keep each other busy around the map. Smiga trying to keep an eye on resources over on this left side. Neither of the players has really done much over this right side. There's a bit more here for FF, unless we just haven't scouted up in this corner. FF waiting for Age 3 upgrades. Smiga getting... what's he getting? Iron smithing, so Age 3 damage. Don't know if he's taking Age 4. Oh yeah, he's going to take Age 4 now. Really, it's a little bit risky to throw this up here. But at the same time, I think it'll be finished by the time FF gets here. He's trying to just hit and run and not getting a huge amount out of it. It's keeping a big number of camels busy. Like, you know, he's only got 9 population running around. Actually, 18 population running around, and his opponent's got, you know, nearly 40 pop running around. So be able to get a couple of village, or could have been able to get a couple of villages. Age 4 for Smiga finishing up, so be able to go for a 4th town center at some point. Yeah, he's just gonna go for it right here. Start getting siege here. One catapult would be really, really good actually. There's a lot of Toxotes here. So if he gets like a catapult, how does he most optimally use his last 20 population? If he gets like a catapult, an elephant, and a siege tower or something, or a Palintenon. This is looking a bit scary though. Smiga is probably keen to take this engagement. 84 vills to 69. So Smiga's actually cut villages a lot earlier than FF right now. 70 villages to 85. FF's definitely at an army size disadvantage, and I think Smiga's aware of this. FF's definitely not keen to engage. There we go. Just wanted to get that first blood there with the Toxotes. Because this is a really hard backline to deal with, and it's not going to be easy for Smiga to get on top of, but he's managed to cut through most of this front line. So Smiga's holding off on the right here, and if he's... I mean, FF's holding off on the right, and if he's able to just keep kiting back here, stop the War Alley getting on top of the Toxotes, he should be alright. So, cleans that up. But yeah, here we go. There's a catapult in the mix. Smiga wants to start creeping forward with towers, with forts too. This is great because he'll deal so much damage with the catapult. He'll force FF to try and have to split things up, or just even try and pull forward on top of the catapult. But it didn't really work out for him there. Smiga can start punishing FF here, start really limiting map control. FF gathering off to that right side. Smiga, he's got vision on the left side, but he's not even over there at the moment. Just trying to get a bit more wood at this stage. And he's going to have to transition to farms. This will slow him down a little bit. Remember, FF had a much earlier transition to the farms and had an extra 15 eco pop on top of that. So his bank's not looking too bad, and he is going to start getting the Gastras. But will it be too little too late? Because Smiga is going to start taking out houses, start taking out farms. FF never got that 4th TC up. Smiga obviously did get his. Was, you know, fighting at about 35 army pop advantage at one stage there. Age 4 armor, really big tech for our Egyptian player. Getting both of those at once is really, really nice. Big saving. Can FF hold on here? He's losing farms. Got a few towers in the mix, but Warriors are so tanky. If they're the targets of that, you're not getting a huge amount of value. FF's probably best off trying to kill chariots or priestesses with all of his static defense here. Oh, Ares is around. Sweet. I might be able to do Ares versus FF. That's the game I've been wanting to do for ages. So GG. Smiga takes the game. Impressive stuff today. Haven't seen him for a while. Yeah, so Smiga cutting Vils a little bit earlier than FF there ended up being a really, really impactful part of that. Because he was just able to chase FF into his own base, and eventually, you know, there's only so far you can run before you're forced to have to engage, or your base is just going to cop it. So GG, Smiga taking that one.